Good morning, everyone. Thought I'd just hop on and make a quick few thoughts about the latest Test series between Australia and West Indies, and the Test series as well. Very interesting Test series. And very interesting question that's raised more questions than answers to what is the team makeup come the Ashes and the makeup of the side for the series against South Africa. Test series was, I think the Aussies were very lucky. Pat Cummins, of course, showed his brilliant best as always, and I think he's saved it for Australia. Again, the main issue is the top order. It's in the middle order. Sam Constance, another failure in the series twice, actually 4 times, I should say. Since he's come in, he's really been under pressure. I think that he hasn't performed well since the game against India. And why I say that, and I'm probably going to go off stick, is that India are a different opposition at home, and Aussies were playing at home. You're playing away in the West Indies. It's different conditions. Are there better candidates than Constance? There could be. There's quite a few at the moment. There's probably one that's actually bolted into Test contention is Jack Weatherald. He's had a good A series. Scored a big 100, so his name's right up there. And then of course maybe you've got Bancroft. He's also there and about, and Matty Renshaw. But Bancroft's career is probably over at this point. It's not so much the same Papergate, it's more his numbers in Test cricket don't reflect on his talent. And of course with Khawaja, you don't know at the moment. Khawaja's had a few failure scores, but come the Ashes, I think it's a total different concept. You're playing against the Poms, and the Poms have got a very good bowling lineup. Again, the middle order has failed. Marnus, Labuschagne, very much out of form. Again, his dropping right. Many people say yes, and many say no. Again, it's just he's been going through the slump for a while. It's not a overnight thing that say, all right, he's failed overnight. Well, it's been going on for a few games. I think he's scored 150 all World Test Championship. And then, of course, you've got Steve Smith. Is he at the heart of his powers, or is his powers diminished? Who should come in? Should Cooper Conley come in at number 3? Or it's all. But again, Cameron Green definitely showed his worth. Since his back injury, he's definitely slowly getting his form back. It's good to see him back. I definitely think he's definitely locked that number 3 spot somewhat down. Come the Ashes, who comes in if Smith fails in the Ashes? Who comes in? Do you go with Inglis or you go with Cooper Conley? I will go with Inglis at this point. Inglis he's done okay. He's scored 100. I think you can definitely play him as a keeper and a batsman. Very versatile. He's taken over the gloves in T20 cricket, it looks like, from Kerry. Kerry coming to the party as well. Bo Webster, fantastic series. He's since he's come into the Test team, he's only probably had one failure. And people say, he's not playing well. He's playing well. Get off the guy's back. He's performed well, and he's done what he's had to do. He scored runs. So I don't see him getting dropped anytime soon. And of course your bowling lineup. Who's going to come in next for Nathan Lyon? I've heard people say Cooper Conley. Cooper Conley is not a frontline spinner. Let's just get that correct. And those people are saying that. I don't even know if they understand that. Cooper Conley is more of a T20 one-day specialist. My opinion is he was very lucky to play one test. It didn't impress me that much in that one test. Do you bring him in for the Ashes? Probably not. Again, it's probably his decision that he wants to focus on white ball stuff. The next spin off the rank is definitely Matt Kimman. So it's good to see him make his T20 debut. I think he's definitely leapfrogged Todd Murphy. Fast bowlers. Of course, Stark still at his best, but I think he's starting to diminish slowly. Cummins, Hazelwood, I think saved the series. Boland, he's not I don't know how quick, so I don't see Boland. Boland didn't impress me too much in the one game. In the games he did play. Of course, T20 series, the Aussies came out really far in. I think the T20 side is pretty much well settled. You've got Tim David. He's, I think, basically locked his play style in the team. Scoring 100, that's it. Your place is now secure. He's secured as the X-Factor player. Mitch Owen definitely impressed during the series, and rightfully so to get called up to the ODI team. So a well-deserved call-up for South Africa. Cooper Conley, was it right to give him 2 games? Did he fail? Again, Cooper Conley didn't have the best series. I don't see Cooper Conley getting dropped anytime soon. He's definitely the future of the team. Aaron Hardy, could you have brought Aaron Hardy in for a few games? All these questions, but I think the T20 side is definitely settled. A great win by the Aussies. Great win to go undefeated in the West Indies. But now you look to the series against South Africa, you've got a very strong team. Marnus Labuschagne comes back in. I think Marnus Labuschagne's place is definitely by a whisker. So he has a good series. You put the doubters to bed. Well, what happens? Do you drop Marnus Labuschagne or bring in Mitch Owen? You've got all these questions. But definitely a very strong lineup. Good to see Bendway Sus in the team. He had a very good BBL. He can give you some late order hitting. With the right to have Cooper Conley dropped again, it's another whole kettle of fish. Is that you've got to put your best team on the pitch. I think Cooper Conley can be hard pressed, but again, you've got the BBL coming up, and I reckon that Cooper Conley will have a big impact this season again. Has it gone to his head too soon? I don't know. I think Cooper Conley has to keep his feet on the ground, and we shall see. I'll just say one more thing very quickly. What will my makeup be for the first Ashes? Obviously, it's the biggest game of the series. A lot of people have been saying, no, England are going to win. Well, not necessarily. I don't support that view. Those people that say that don't know if it's going to go one side or not. We've heard it before, and what's happened, the Aussies have won. But I think the strongest team would definitely be, I would definitely drop Weatherworld. Sorry, my apologies, I would drop Constance and bring in Jack Weatherworld. If Weatherworld scores 100 in his first 2 Sheffield Shield games, he's in the test team. It's not even it's not a conclusion to that. Constance fails in the Sheffield Shield, I'd say first 2 games. My prediction is he's dropped from the test team for the first game. And I've always been of the opinion is that these guys should be told to go play cricket. It's in and out season, in and out cricket. My whole humble opinion is Constance should have been told to go play some county cricket. It would have helped his technique, and we wouldn't have had these failures in the West Indies. Again, Khawaja, are you going to drop Khawaja? I probably personally would not be dropping Uzi at this point, even though he is 36, 37. I would keep him in the team for the Ashes, and then after the Ashes I would start the rejig of the lineup, because there's no point of you start to fiddle with your side halfway through in Ashes. It's going to cause more havoc than good. Of course, the middle order makes itself. Smith, Labuschagne most probably will come back in for the Ashes, which is a foregone conclusion potentially. If he doesn't come in, I'd bring Inglis in at number 4 spot. I would drop Green to number 5. You've got Head at 6, Carey 7, Webster at 8. And of course you'd have Smith in his usual position. Of course, the fast bowlers, who would you bring in? I would stick to what the fast bowling cartel we've got going. Only because they've got experience. And then I would slowly at the end of the Ashes start to phase them out. Because again, you can't start fiddling with a bowling lineup halfway through a series, as most people would like to do. Who would be the travelling reserves, the probables, and the outside chances would be Cooper Conley's a very outside chance. I don't even think he's even going to get into the team. You've got Aaron Hardy, you've got Tiga Wiley as well, is also around. Corey Rocker-Coley. Of course, Jack Weatherald, if he performs well. And then you've got, of course, young and up-and-coming Fergus O'Neill. Very good county season. Todd Murphy. So you've got guys like that. Lance Morris, you've got guys like that in the outer. Are they going to come in necessarily? Probably not. But if you're probably looking for a replacement for Smith, I wouldn't be bringing, I think people have said to me, bring Cooper Conley. I would bring in Nathan McSweeney. Why McSweeney? Because you need someone who's batted in those positions. You can't play whack-a-mole and bring in Cooper Conley and then say, all right, go ballistic for the first 5 overs or 10 overs and use a wicket. It's not his style. His style is that he plays whack-em, T20 style. Not to say that he would come in at some point in his career, but I don't think the Ashes would be the right part to make any changes. Again, if Khawaja does fail, what do you do? I'll probably drop Khawaja or bring in Weatherald. Matty Renshaw's there. So you've got the choices, but my team for the first 2 Ashes would definitely, Test matches would be Uzi, Conster / Weatherald. It's going to be a battle between those two in the first couple of games. The rest of the middle order makes itself. I suspect that Labuschagne would come in, Green, Smith, then you go right down to the usual culprits. I just want to end off one more thing is, if Australia do lose, what are the wholesale changes going to be? I don't think there'd be huge wholesale changes. I think one of those changes would probably be Cummins being sacked as captain and Travis Head being made captain, but I don't see that happening anytime soon. Pat Cummins, I think, has done a lot as captain. Very clever captain and very good bowler. I've always said that about him from day one. But in that respect, you'd probably have Head captain. But again, it's a whole big mishmash. Prediction for the Ashes, I would definitely say it'd be a very close Ashes series, but I would just say that Australia would edge them out. The first test at Optus is a vital game. I would say whoever wins or draws that game will have the series locked up. Have a great day, guys.